Welcome back. We are back. We are actually going over quite an important topic overall, just because it's not only a trending topic, but it's a topic that could come down to like the whole AI arms race and who actually wins. So if you have not heard, GLM 5.2 is this new open source model that is supposed to be as good as Fable 5. I've got the slight bit. I don't want to use it too much. I'm a big fan of AI models from China, but from what I have seen and actually got to experiment with, it is equally as good. A couple things it doesn't do as good in is actually the long horizon of seeing the fine details. So it can do the long picture, and that's this long horizon is the fact that you give a prompt, and off of that initial prompt, the AI already understands the long horizon scale or scaffold of the project and how it needs to be taken. A lot of smaller models is more of a step-by-step. You're holding. Now we kind of move into the territory of not necessarily holding our hand, but pushing them off and starting them away. Fable 5 was really good at this. You've seen it make whole games, whole YouTube automations in basically a one-shot prompt because it understood the long horizons. And GLM 5.2 does the same similar thing. It does have a million token context window, which is exactly like Fable 5. Actually, I believe Fable 5 had a 1.5 million. Don't quote me on that. Either way, it is a very large context window for it to also be open sourced. So if we were to come over to OpenRouter, we can see on this LLM leaderboard, there's something that needs to be talked about, and a lot of these models that are actually number one are Chinese models. Fable 5 wasn't necessarily as dangerous as what GLM 5.2 is. Okay, if we were to actually break it down, being an open source model and having being able to release it to everyone and everyone be able to use it, it's just equally as bad as Fable 5. That's why I'm still kind of contemplating and playing out what Anthropic's trying to do with this Fable 5 ban and how they're going to play it out. Obviously, yes, they were pushed by the government, but they were also the ones that decided to fully roll it back. All the government forced them to do was say, hey, we want to keep this within the US. Okay, we cannot let this go outside the US. Well, that's not necessarily possible. So Anthropic decided to completely roll it back entirely. Well, this GLM 5.2, it is the same exact thing and probably has the same security vulnerabilities, if not more. From what I was able to use, and I was in the middle of doing a couple different labs with Hermes, this GLM 5.2 can be connected to Hermes Agent, and there is certain skills inside of the Hermes Agent platform that allows you to do some more malicious attack. This is with GLM 5.2. It is equally as big of a security vulnerability as Fable 5, but no one's really talking about this. This is why the US and Anthropic need to release Fable 5. I do believe ChatGPT 5.6 is actually coming out this week, Thursday. Should be June 25th, I believe, is when they're actually planning on releasing this. ChatGPT 5.6 is supposedly supposed to be as good as Fable 5. I believe they might even do this 5.5 cyber version, which is basically cybersecurity focused, and that will essentially help with this rollout of Fable 5. Without a doubt, Fable 5 was unprecedented times, but we got to understand that in unprecedented times, it's better to let the tech kind of improve upon itself. The community is going to find exploits way faster than a security team will. And this is just because there's more manpower and there's more effort on finding actual exploits to take advantage of. A security team is doing it for their job. The community is doing it for their advantage. And those are two separate things. So having GLM 5.2 actually be released now, we're catching a lot of people actually downloading this open source model and moving towards cheaper Chinese models. So if we were to actually go in to see the performance and the actual price. So For every output for 1 million tokens, it's $4.40. And for every input, it's 45. This is insane, because if we go to we'll take Opus 4.8 for right now. For every million input tokens, it's $5. And for every million output token, it's $25. You can do the math, but that is an insane difference. And we're not even, I'm pretty sure Fable 5 was upwards of like $40 for every million of output tokens and like $10 for every million input. That is nuts. Let's just check out DeepSeek V4, because this is another super powerful Chinese model that's coming out. So again, the pricing is astronomically different. Like the US has a serious issue on their hands, and it's with overpriced AI. The Chinese models are really going to run a lot of our customer base very thin. And if that's not already happening, I don't know how else to. Fable 5 was really the best news that Anthropic has heard in the last like 2-3 months. And now that it's gone, they are catching themselves in a tricky position. Now, another thing that I would like to talk on, your usage limits and your subscription-based models might not be a thing for much longer, because many people experienced it with Fable 5, and I think some people still experience it with Opus 4.8, but the rate at which you would use your $200 and $100 max plan was extremely fast. And even me now, I'm using my $100 max plan very quickly. And I've done most of the things to actually improve file structure and improve token efficiency. But even with all that, your once subscription-based plans that were plenty is now only getting you part of the way. We're going to at some point have to switch over to API billing. And here's where I like the idea of local AI. You get to have your own AI that is not based off of a subscription. You pay once, and that would be for your device to have enough RAM and storage. And then once that payment is actually paid off, you have free AI that is under your control. You have privacy and everything. Open source is very similar, but it doesn't run local. If you can power your open source agents locally, you're part of the way there. You just need to improve upon the actual local source that you have, improve upon the models that you're choosing for local hosting. You can get into a whole realm of things, but these cheap Chinese models are going to put the US in a very hard spot. And we already are kind of seeing that with GLM 5.2. If this does not improve, we're going to see some crazy hard times, and the economy is actually going to reflect this problem. If this helped you out any, make sure you like, follow, and subscribe. Like, follow, and subscribe. Just like and subscribe. I appreciate you watching. Take care.